All I can think of is the sea. I can't recall exactly how it began, but I know I'm indifferent to that part of my life before it began. Thoughts of that other world are never far from my mind, but the recollections are starting to fade. I have to fix them in some sort of remembered reality before they pass beyond memory, beyond meaning.
He was hit by a lorry on a motorway at night. Police said he was drunk, got out of his car, started to walk up the motorway. Pouring rain. Pitch black.
The car was less than a year old, covered in a film of dust.
Was going to...
Her face was blank with loss. What could I say? What was there to say?
He died 300 miles from where he should have been. What was he... Why was he... Who? You're not a dealer. John wouldn't have liked a dealer
I'm not
to...
the dealer.
Spare keys and papers in the...
She waved vaguely at the glove box.
in the...
She seemed incapable of finishing a sentence.
His back was broken in 5 places. His skull...
I sat at a table in the kitchen and wrote out a cheque as the woman wove a web of sickening details around her brother's death.
What was extraordinary? Most of the blood had drained from his body, but it wasn't on the road.
She looked at me, letting the absurdity of this settle.
They couldn't find it anywhere. Not a drop.
I needed to get away. I tore the cheque out and held it out to her.
He was only 46. He was a beautiful man.
I'll collect the car when the cheque is cleared.
I don't believe he died in such a senseless way.
She snatched the keys from the table and threw them at me.
Take it. Take the bloody car.
I don't often think of death, but that night I'd been so wantonly reminded of it that I couldn't escape morbid thoughts. I hold a simple view about dying. When life ends, it ends. You're here, you're not here. A mist suddenly appeared. The controls of the car became heavy and unresponsive, the road surface treacherous. The needles of the instrument started to swing wildly. But to my astonishment, I thought I could hear the sound of the sea, waves breaking, gulls. Then there was total darkness. I braked hard. The car slewed sideways and hit something. I was flung forward and banged my head. As I slowly regained consciousness, I saw the glass faces of the instruments were cracked and the needle of the temperature dial was stuck on red. The stalled engine wouldn't start. I got out of the car and tested my balance. I saw that I was in an avenue of large detached buildings, screened from the road by trees. There were no lights on in any of them. There were no street lights. The only thing to lift the darkness was the moonlight. Then I heard a car travelling at speed towards me. I turned and saw its headlights. As it got closer, I could make out the silhouette of an old American saloon. I slipped into the cover of some trees. It reversed and stopped alongside the stranded car. Framed in the moonlight, I could see that it had mirrored windows, no number plates, a powerful spotlight on the passenger side. 2 men got out and walked slowly round my car. Same height, build. Both wore dark suits and heavy-rimmed glasses. One had a gun in one hand, the other a torch. He opened the driver's door and shone the torch beam over the interior. They had a brief conversation, closed the door, and made their way back to their car. I watched from the cover of the trees as it turned into the grounds of an apartment block. I remained hidden until I was sure it was gone, then I made my way to the front entrance. I pressed my forehead against the cooling glass of the door. Inside the entrance hall, automatically triggered by the pressure on the glass, light switched on, and from nowhere, 3 dogs hurled themselves at me. Muscles bunched, teeth white blades, their claws clattering on the glass. I snatched back, leaving a bruise of blood on the door.
They won't hurt you.
The voice startled me.
Not if you're with me.
On seeing the woman, the dogs calmed.
What happened to you?
I need to call a cab.
A cab?
She pointed to a gash in my scalp.
That requires attention.
She was oddly remote. I followed her into the block, never taking my eyes from the dogs. I followed her to a lift.
What's this address?
She looked at me as if I was talking in a language she didn't understand.
For the taxi.
She smiled a practiced smile.
You need a drink.
In the lift, she stood close to me. Under the expensive perfume, I could smell her flesh like sweet brine. She put her purse on the table, slipped her coat off, dropped it carelessly on a chair and crossed to a drinks trolley.
Brandy?
I prefer whiskey.
But of course. Certainly. Ice?
No ice.
Water?
No water.
She handed me the drink, then checked the gash in my scalp.
No. What is your blood type?
That bad?
Do you know?
No.
I'll get something to clean it with.
Why? Do you want to know my blood group?
Excuse me.
When I was sure she had gone, I stood in the centre of the room, feeling it more than seeing it. There was something artificial about it, just as there was about the woman. I crossed to the telephone and lifted the receiver. There was no dialing tone. Then I saw it had no lead. The woman returned with a basin of water and cotton wool.
Sit here.
She patted the back of a chair. As she started to bathe the wound, the car returned. The woman stiffened with alarm.
They'll kill you if they find you here. And me.
Who are they?
You have to go.
I could see she meant what she said.
Find Hill. You must find Hill somehow.
As I moved quickly from the room, she slipped something into my hand.
Give this to Hill.
Without looking, I dropped it into a pocket. I thought I knew the depth at which fear is buried. In desperation, I buried myself in some bushes in the overgrown grounds of a large crumbling house. The car powered past, its spotlight flooding the dead garden. I was just about to move off when I saw a light in a window. I edged to the side and looked in. The room was lit by a slide projector. Dramatic images of the sea were being projected on one of the walls. A young girl sat cross-legged on the floor, her gaze full of wonder. Sensing someone behind, I swiveled round to face a tall, gaunt man dressed in black. He was carrying a glass cane that gave off an ultraviolet glow.
My daughter has never seen the sea.
Realizing that he was blind, I tried to slip past, but found myself pinned to the wall, the buzzing cane across my throat.
You have seen the sea?
Yes.
He eased the cane.
I went there many times before this damnable place, when I was a child. But all I know of it, all I can remember, is its smell. Come in and tell my daughter about the sea.
Before I could answer, a spotlight splashed over the row of rotting houses. The blind man instantly lowered his cane, switched off his light, and whispered.
I can hide you from the eyes.
He slipped silently into the shadows.
You're from the city. There's no going back. You'll die here in the zone.
The car stopped some way off. Another joined it. They moved slowly down the road. When I was certain they were gone, I took my chance and ran. Slipping from shadow to shadow, I saw something in the distance that drew me to it. A fire on waste ground. Lying close to the fire, a naked man. Hands and feet bound, his body coiled round a metal stake. There was movement in a derelict house. A face in the flare of a match as a cigarette was lit. The face of a child, yet not a child. A car appeared. A brood of feral children stepped up into the spaces where windows once were. Although the night was harsh, they were stripped to the waist, their thin bodies crudely tattooed. A man got out of the car with a torch. The brood watched silently as he walked to their prisoner and cut his hands and feet free. A second man stepped from the car, same dead face, eyes hidden behind green lens glasses. They hauled the naked man to his feet, dragged him to the car and flung him into a metal cage in the back. Then they opened the boot, lifted out a large cardboard container and placed it on the ground. The eyes got back in the car, reversed onto the road and were gone. The brood seeped from the building with a pack of wild dogs. Two of the oldest broke the paper seals, opened the container and lifted out a television. One of the girls slashed her palm with a shard of glass and smeared blood all over the screen. Then the television was raised high and carried like some sacred street Madonna into the darkness. The dog brood followed in religious procession. My body ached with cold. In the distance, I saw a fire blazing in an oil drum. I stopped, took a small flask of whiskey from a pocket. It was close to empty. I took a sip, looked around. The area appeared deserted. I approached cautiously. There was no one about, just a half-starved dog, its skin shuddering as it sucked in the heat. When it saw me, it limped off. I stood as close to the red-hot drum as I could bear. From the darkness came a high-pitched whine. It continued, staccato, demented. Then, a toothless face was glaring at me through the flames. An old man with a wind-up gramophone strapped to his back. The madness in his face burned brighter than the fire. He mimed a vicious stabbing. He took a rusting tin box from a bag, opened it, and took out a pair of glasses the eyes wore. One of the lenses was missing, the other was cracked and caked in dried blood. He proudly pointed to the blood. He put the glasses on and, fizzing with madness, he posed for me.
Eyes! Knife! Me! Killed ya!
Then he stepped back from the fire's light and disappeared as completely and mysteriously as he had appeared, into his own private underworld. There was a lack of even a casual connection between time as I knew it and time passing in the zone. Nights seemed to last forever. Days were brief and bleak. I found myself in a deserted shopping precinct. The shops were burnt out and boarded up. I'd been aware for some time that I was being followed by a young girl. I stopped and turned to her.
What do you want?
Thin face, head shaved, faded scars like chalk marks on her skull.
Would you wish me, sir?
Wish you?
I'm clean.
She dropped her hand between her legs. She never took her eyes from my watch. I raised my hand.
This?
I unclipped the watch and held it in my hand.
You want this?
She nodded.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
She inched forward, her body wound like a spring ready for instant flight. She slowly reached out to take the watch. I drew it back.
Answers. That's all I want.
She glanced behind, measuring her dash back into the darkness.
Where am I? Just tell me where I am.
You're from the city.
I pushed the watch into her hand.
Yes,
Have you seen the sea?
I've lived by the sea.
Tell me about it. Everything, everything.
First, you tell me about this place. Where is it? Where is the zone? What is it?
With surprising strength and without warning, she dragged me into a doorway. Then I heard the unmistakable engine of a patrolling car. The girl pulled me deeper into shadow.
The goat, the eyes, they're after you.
I almost laughed. Only in the surreal nightmare of the zone could these sinister cars be called goats. When it was gone, the girl eased away from me.
They're after you, aren't they?
Yes.
Why?
I didn't ask them.
She smiled. In the smile, I saw a sense of survival imprinted on her thin face. The girl led me quickly from one section of the zone to another. I'd never seen such manifest ruin. For some time, she'd been casting nervous glances back and to both sides. I slowly became aware of the gang of feral children with their dogs darting from one pool of shadow to the next.
Keep moving!
As we turned the corner, we came face to face with the rest of the brood. I looked around the faces. The oldest was no more than 14. They all had the soul-free eyes of the predator. The girl slipped the watch from her arm and held it up.
Gold! Gold!
One snatched it from her and threw it to the rest, who fought for it, yapping like curs.
What else have you got?
I searched my pockets and took out a lipstick. Then I remembered. The woman at the apartment had given me something, but a lipstick. I dropped it back in my pocket. A hail of stones rained down, forcing us to run in different directions. The brood ignored the girl. It was the man from the city they were hunting. They cut me off in every direction, forcing me onto an ugly slab of waste ground. I'd run to a standstill, stood half bent over, trying to force some oxygen back into my burning lungs. Then, in a last desperate surge of energy, I took a step towards a heavy club of wood lying on the ground. The ground gave way and I plunged into a pit that had been skillfully camouflaged. The pit was 10 feet deep, sheer-sided. The brood gathered at the top, looking down at me like a trapped animal. My shoulder brushed the pit wall. The walls of the pit were alive with electricity. Within hours, the brood had delivered me to the eyes. I was locked in a cage in the back of a car being driven through the zone. When I tried to resist, they'd smashed the car door on my hand. I suddenly caught sight of an extraordinary figure. A tall man with tungsten-coloured hair, wearing a scarlet robe of shreds and patches, dragging a heavy wooden cross on his shoulder. He stopped, shifted the cross to his other shoulder, and continued on his way. The cell door was slammed shut behind me and locked. Feeling the walls like a blind man, I found a narrow bed and lay on it for some time, allowing my eyes to adjust to the lack of light. Then somebody coughed. It startled me. I thought I was alone. A match was struck, and I saw another bed on the far side of the cell. Lying on it was a man so emaciated it was hard to believe he was still alive. He lit a stub of candle on a stool and started to cough again, wiping flecks of blood from his mouth with a rag. I took out my flask, unscrewed the cap, and took it across to him.
Here. Try this. You can have what's left. Whiskey.
The man started to cough again, this time so violently it threatened to snap his stick of a body. I put the flask beside the candle.
I'll leave it here.
I crossed to my bed and lay down. I saw him pick up the flask and take a drink.
Talking to walls, you start to forget who you are. My name is Hayden.
Turner.
A stab of pain in my hand. I winced.
The eyes. They're like breaking hands.
Who are they? The eyes.
The lice of the zone, psychopaths. Violence is their language. They thrive on fear. You're from the city?
Yes.
Men like you are not here for long. They usually kill you and use you for spare parts. How did you get through the boundary?
Boundary?
It protects the zone.
Drove through. How does it work?
Scientifically?
Yes.
I don't know.
You must know something.
That's city logic.
There's a magnetic field. It affected the instruments in the car.
There was a brief silence. Then Hayden seemed to make a decision to trust me.
The human body is mostly water.
When you hit the boundary, temperature increases. It's something to do with the properties of hydrogen in a magnetic field.
What happens?
Your blood boils. You die.
Then how do people pass through it?
The boundary is breaking down. People from the city find themselves stranded here. At times, the power is switched off in certain sections to allow important zone people in and out. That's how they come and go.
Who are they?
Men and women who live by the darker laws of life.
They run the zone.
They control the eyes.
How many people here?
40, 50,000, who knows? Who cares? There are a dozen factions fighting for power.
Fighting for what? It's a living hell.
Not all of it. Across the park...
He stopped in mid-sentence and quickly blew the candle out. A slit of light appeared in the cell door. It stayed open a few seconds, then closed, and the jailer moved on. I lowered my voice.
Who's Hill?
Who told you about Hill?
Who is he?
She.
She, then?
There are 2 ways I could leave this cell. In a body bag. Not quite dead. It suits the surgeons. Or through that door, a free man. Hill could open that door.
I was taken to a room that was spacious and comfortable. A half-open glass door led onto a balcony. To my amazement, sunlight streamed in, and I could hear the sound of the sea and the cry of gulls. The setting would have been perfect, but for the fact that the room was 50 feet below ground. They handcuffed me to a chair in front of a desk. A woman sat behind the desk, cleaning her glasses, a hardened and already hard face when she put them on. She picked up a roll of negative.
Where did you get this?
I don't know what
This roll of negative. Photographic negative.
Never seen it before.
They've given me an hour.
She indicated a battery of bell pushes on the desk.
If I press one of these, you will be collected and disposed of.
I just want to get out of this sewer.
That can be arranged,
How?
if we permit it.
She got up, came round the desk and stood in front of me.
Where did you get these?
She held up the roll of negative.
I've told you.
Then I saw the lipstick lying on the desk. It had been pulled apart. I suddenly realised.
The lipstick.
Who gave it to you?
A woman.
Who?
I don't know who she was.
Describe her.
Tall, dark, attractive. Lived in an apartment guarded by dogs.
An Eva. There are a dozen Evas. Identical. We send them into the city to seduce. She gave you the lipstick.
Yes.
Why?
The eyes came back.
Yes.
She pushed it into my hand and told me to run. That they'd kill me if they found me there. They'd kill us both.
Nothing else?
I got out.
What did she say?
As fast as I could.
About the lipstick?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
You weren't curious. You didn't ask.
I didn't even look at it. I dropped it into a pocket. I wanted to get as far away from those animals as I could.
Outside, a squall of gulls seemed to irritate her. She went back behind the desk and pressed another button. The gulls, the sunlight and the sea disappeared, leaving a muddy light in the room. She switched on a desk lamp and picked up a folder. From it, she took several photographs and started to lay them on the desk. The last, to my astonishment, was a face I knew. She smiled.
Tell me about Jack Cage.
He's dead.
I spoke to him today.
He died 8 years ago.
How do you explain the photograph?
I couldn't. It was Jack Cage.
He told me you're a thief. A brilliant thief. A thinker. He admires you.
I sat next to... Her name was Ms. Iceton. in the back of a stretched limo that moved slowly through the zone. In the daylight, I saw that she was older than she first appeared.
How did Jack Cage get here?
He needed to disappear. There are always people in the city who need to disappear for all sorts of reasons. Criminal, political, financial, even psychological.
How do they find you?
We find them.
How?
From contacts in the zone, we make contacts in the city. They come here, they have contacts. That's what they bring to us.
She paused and considered for a moment.
And, of course, their own particular predisposition.
What did Jack bring?
He's a man without conscience.
The car slowed. We were stopping in a park. The trees were in bloom. The natural beauty of the place was in stark contrast to the terrible darkness I'd so far seen in the zone. My door opened with the faintest click. Ms. Iceton pointed across the park.
You'll be met at the gate.
I got out. The door closed behind me, and the car eased away. As I walked through the deserted park, I realized that the setting was more than idyllic. The sun was full, sky cloudless and brochure blue, grass so verdantly green it looked painted, but there was something missing. Where were the birds? A place like this would surely be full of birds. It was a curiously uncomfortable place, artful and counterfeit. There was nothing natural about it. Even the shadows seemed to be stenciled on the ground. As I walked through a thickly wooded area, I looked up. In the trees were cameras that followed my every movement. There was about the whole place a virulent, menacing deceit. I made my way to the gates on the opposite side of the park. There was a giant of a man standing beside a limousine waiting for me. He was close to 7 feet tall, must have weighed 400 pounds. As I approached, he opened the passenger door and stood silently beside it. He closed the door behind me, got into the car, adjusted the rearview mirror so that he could see me, then started the car and pulled away. Before the park was out of sight, a car phone buzzed beside me. I lifted the handset but said nothing. I knew who it would be.
Turner? Turner? Can you hear me? It's Jack.
Can't be.
What?
Jack's dead.
Do I sound dead?
The limousine passed a high wall that ran alongside the road. On it, in freshly painted 6-foot letters, was the name Hill.
We're old friends.
Who's Hill? The phone clicked dead. As we drove on, I remembered what Hayden had said in the cell.
There are a dozen factions fighting for power.
Fighting for what? It's a living hell.
Not all of it. Across the park.
Here I was, across the park. Sweeping tree-lined avenues of luxury houses, tennis courts, swimming pools, marble-chipped drives with exotic cars parked on them. A miniature version of the blatant opulence of the gated communities where the seriously rich live in the City of Angels. Jack Cage was a small man with a hard-boned, almost pagan face. I stood on his balcony watching him play a round of golf over Pebble Beach. He teed off into a brightly lit screen, showing a fairway of perfect video grass. He checked the length of his drive on a monitor, then rested his club against the wall and peeled off his glove.
You don't look too shabby for a dead man.
Who went to my funeral?
Eddie Carl's widow.
Oh, funny.
To piss on your ashes.
Cage threw his glove across the balcony.
He wasn't worth a stinking damn.
So you killed him?
They couldn't prove it.
Didn't get the chance, did they?
That's right.
Who was in the coffin?
I borrowed a body.
Of course you did.
Look, I don't want to talk about the past. Here we live in the present, day by day. Did that bitch Iceton do a deal with you? What did she offer you? Way out? There's no way out, no going back, not for you, Turner. See this?
He pointed to the monitor.
Right here, the distance a ball is hit. The yards it goes, left or right, hook, slice. It knows the location of every hazard. That's me in the zone. I know the location of every hazard. If you want to stay alive, stay close to me.
Cage was sat in a high-backed chair. Behind the chair stood a young woman massaging the back of his neck.
Isn't she beautiful? Her name's Leah. I killed her husband.
She looked at me briefly. I could see that she was beyond hurt.
Does that disgust you? His property, his woman, everything mine. That's the law here.
The law?
Mm-hmm. I kill a man, what's his is mine. Call it what you like. Okay.
He got up, crossed the room to a desk, opened a drawer and took out 2 sets of keys.
Apartment, car, anything you need.
He took a photograph from the drawer and passed it to me.
Another widow?
Ever kill a man, Turner?
Not yet.
You know your trouble? You think too much. When I'm gonna kill a man, he's stark-ass naked. There's nowhere he can hide. In the city, they treat you like slime. Here, they respect you. I'm one of 3 regulators.
Executioners.
You're right. But then you're a moral man. Here, there's no morality. Here, what you want, you take.
Dressed in immaculate black tie, we were driven through the most opulent part of the zone. It was as though a net had been thrown over the pest hole of the rest of the zone to keep it out.
Where are we going? Jack?
Waiters in white gloves moved discreetly among the elite of the zone, serving canapes and glasses of vintage champagne. Everything about the occasion was obscenely indulgent. All of the women were dressed in different hues of ocean blue. Cage sidled up to me and whispered,
That face over there with the crippled hand and the small army, that's McClelland. He runs the zone. Cross him and your life is worth 4/5 of Sodor. Be careful.
He cast a glance at a woman moving through the crowd towards us.
Jack!
Hey, V.
Her face was ageless, almost perfect.
This is...
Turner. Yeah.
Yes.
I've heard about you. You don't use him, Jack.
She ran her blood-red nails lightly over my face.
He's mine.
I caught her wrist and held it tight. She was astonished. So were the people near her. I leaned forward and studied her perfect porcelain face.
How old are you?
There was an audible gasp of disbelief.
I keep meeting women with young faces, but old eyes.
She laughed, which started a swell of nervous laughter from the rest.
Don't forget me, Jack.
She pressed something into his hand, then slipped back into the crowd. Cage took me by the arm and hurried me into an empty passageway.
You want to get us both blistered? That lady's lethal. She's almost as dangerous as McClelland. What does she give you?
He held out a small metal disc with ORHCDE engraved on it.
What is it?
Blood. With the right blood, we never age.
It was like the first night at the opera. We were sat in reserved seats in the observation gallery of an operating theatre. The darkness in the gallery was exaggerated by a sudden storm of light in the operating area. An anaesthetized patient was wheeled in, followed by a surgeon and his team dressed in silver laser-reflecting material.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Western civilization, mankind's deep veneration for God is only a profane longing for immortality. As transplant techniques are perfected, immortality becomes a rational possibility.
He replaced a blind eye with one fully functional in less than an hour. Astonishing. The room was small. Walls from floor to ceiling constructed of stainless steel drawers. It was exceptionally cold. Breath smoked from our mouths as we spoke.
There are never enough donors. The transplant I used tonight came from this organ bank.
In the drawer were 3 human eyes contained in cubes that looked at first like ice, but had a harder surface. The second drawer held a human brain. I had to look away. A lingering smell of flesh made me nauseous.
I specialise in rare tissue matches. I have an arrangement with several surgeons in the city.
He took a silver flask from his pocket, unscrewed the cap and passed it to me. I needed a drink.
You're a clever man, Turner. Together there's nothing we couldn't do.
I knew that my appearance in the zone excited but also troubled Cage. Leah had slipped a note in my jacket pocket saying that he was frightened of me and that at some point he would kill me. I knew Jack Cage well enough to know this to be true. As we left the operating theatre, he said he wanted to show me something. He wouldn't say what. I didn't press him. The giant chauffeur was called Eels. I have never met such a frightening and silent man. The limousine glided along brightly lit streets that were clear of the scurf of filth that seemed to cover most of the zone. People were out shopping, going to restaurants, drinking at tables outside chic bars. Suddenly Eels braked hard. Cage had a gun in his hand in a second. Caught in the headlights like a giant ragged moth was the Christ-like man I'd seen before. Cage put the gun away.
Pathetic bastard. Go round him.
Who is he?
They call him the Zone Christ. Been here forever.
As we passed, the Zone Christ looked in at me as if somehow he knew me. His eyes blazed. The limousine accelerated, and he was soon left far behind. We drove through the park and into the creeping desolation beyond. Eels stopped the car at an intersection of roads, got out, and stood in the beam of the headlights. Then he started to walk up and down in a precise 6-pace line.
What's he doing?
Waiting.
For what?
It won't be long.
Is he a mute?
Well, I've never heard him speak a word.
Never.
Frightening, isn't he?
Why are we here?
You still think there's a way back?
Eels turned back to the car and gestured to Cage. In the distance, a man emerged from the darkness running for his life, pursued by armed men who seemed less intent on catching him than driving him in a certain direction.
There's no going back.
The running man hit the invisible zone boundary. His back arched, his body shuddered, then stiffened. He toppled backwards and lay still. Eels got back in the car. As we drove slowly past, I could see steam coming from the dead man's open mouth.
You ice-hearted bastard.
Who cares?
I care.
Don't you understand? With me you can make it here. With me you got a chance. Alone, you'll end up like that.
We drove on in a heavy silence.
I had to make you understand.
Who do you answer to, Jack?
No one.
You don't have the imagination. You never did. You need to be told what to do.
Let it rest.
Who suggested that grotesque demonstration?
Don't you understand? There's a life here you could never dream of in the city.
The man with the crippled hand at the reception. McClellan.
I said let it rest.
He looks like a man who gives orders.
Shut your mouth.
Even the lady with the porcelain face stayed well clear.
He's a madman.
And you're not.
Not like him. Christ. Not like him.
You hate his guts.
Your mouth will get you killed.
As the car gathered speed and powered towards the park, a blazing van blocked the road. Eels put the heavy vehicle into a controlled sideways skid. Hit the back of the blazing wreck and spun it round. Once the limousine was past, he got it back online and accelerated away. 2 black saloons shot from a side road and locked onto the limousine like barracudas after a shark. Shots ricocheted off the armoured body and glass. As the limousine screamed round a corner, the back door flew open and I was sucked out. When I looked up, the 2 cars had turned a corner. Then I heard one skid to a halt and reverse at speed. I struggled to my feet and ran for the cover of a shop doorway. I tucked myself as tightly as I could into the darkness. Then, to my relief, I heard the car accelerate back the way it had come. I knew that I had to escape this half-known hell or die trying. The darkness lifted into a zoned dawn as I made my way back to where the running man died. There was a clear, pure silence. I moved slowly, deliberately towards the lethal zone boundary. I knew that if I hesitated, I might not do what I had to. I walked straight ahead, past the point where I saw the running man fall, and continued on. I was dazzled by a pink-silver glare, like blood seen through closed eyes on a scorching summer day. My breath came in short, sharp gulps. I raised a hand in front of my face. I could see bones through flesh like a coloured X-ray. I was amazed I felt so alive, but it made sense. Surely you feel most alive on the edge of death. Lost in this uncertain reality, I saw phantom shapes that slowly focused into houses, shops, a street. A bus rattled past, flashing red. Early morning people went about their business. This isn't the zone, I thought. This is not the zone. Back. Am I? Back? In the city? But is it real or is it... I struggle to remember, then struggle to forget that other half-known hell. Can't stay here too long. Someone will come. Damn gun. Walking down a street in the last light of evening. Cliff Field, the closest thing I have to a brother, looks up at me.
Where the bloody hell have you been?
Cliff is a violent man, a feared man without forgiveness. I'm the only person apart from his wife who he cares about.
Jan's been sick with worry.
I remain silent.
What happened?
What happened?
Your car caught fire.
That seems so long ago, when I met the strange woman and bought a dead brother's car. I've almost forgotten it.
Oh, that was nothing.
Nothing?
He points to the bruises on my face.
And those? The car gutted and the bruises? Nothing.
Look, Cliff.
No, you look. Someone's ironing you out and I want to know who. I want to see his face while he's still got one.
An awkward silence falls between us. The edge drops out of Cliff's voice. It fills with a quieter concern.
Why won't you tell me?
How can I explain something I don't understand myself?
There's nothing to tell.
The silence settles on us again. I sit at a table with the two people I know best, and yet they are strangers.
Not hungry?
Sorry. Jan is 10 years younger than her husband. She has a piercing sweetness.
Oh, why don't you stay a few days?
I sip my wine.
Just a day or two. It's nice and quiet here.
I'm okay.
You disappear off the face of the earth for 3 weeks and you're back looking like death.
3 weeks?
3 weeks? 4 or 5 days?
Cliff glances at Jan, then looks hard at me.
Nearly a month, John.
I'm drawn to the luster of the darkness beyond the car as Cliff drives me home. I find myself filled with an intense longing for that unnatural place where I've been. All evening, I've seen glimpses of the zone in my mind's eye. The old American saloon with mirrored windows. The cloned grey men, their nerveless eyes hidden behind green-lensed glasses. The dogs clawing the glass door, their muzzles flecked with foam.
Dogs. Dogs? I can hear dogs.
You ate dogs. You ate animals. Remember that rat in the paper sack?
Rat?
In a sack?
No.
When we were kids.
He looks at me, willing me to remember.
Your old fella killed it with a spade?
I retreat back into silence, searching the darkness for the mystery that had held my eyes. The night suddenly fills with a scratchy soprano singing Verdi. Then I see him quite clearly. The old man from the drum fire in the Badlands of the zone. He squats in a dry corner of a derelict house, winding his gramophone while his one record plays. He lifts the tin box from his bag, takes out the bloody glasses, puts them on, and fizzing with madness extravagantly conducts the opera.
John.
The old man's music calls to me, eerie and sinister.
John?
I feel a lingering sense of drift, as though I am wandering away from my life.
John!
I am still John Turner, but less and less. Parts of my past are starting to disappear. The park. The perfect park in the zone. Sheltering from the sun under a tree. Plucking a blade of grass. Putting it between my lips. The pungent vapor it gave off as though dipped in acid, blood on my lips. That's the smell. Burning rust. On the floor, park grass smouldering in a saucer, giving off a saffron smoke. I stand staring down at it, mesmerized by the fantastic images I can see in the curling smoke. For a moment, there is a perfect silence. Then it is broken by a voice behind me.
He sent me to take you back.
I start to feel a creeping paralysis. The muscles of my mouth seizing up. My mouth won't form words.
McClelland.
The shotgun.
You walk through the boundary.
Get to the bedroom.
No one walks through the boundary.
Hands and knees crawling, cage standing over me.
He wants to know how.
He sticks to me like a leech.
Come back with me. You can have anything. Anything you want.
Shotgun under the bed.
You and me, Turner. We could pull McClellan down.
He hasn't seen it.
Together, we could run the zone.
As my fingers touch the shotgun, he kicks it away. It spins and skids across the wooden floor, hits a wall and fires. I'm sitting beside a swimming pool in the grounds of a luxury house in the zone. My eyes are protected by dark glasses. At the end of the pool are 2 armed guards who occasionally glance at me. A woman appears, perhaps 30, her dark hair jailed in a bun. As she approaches, I can see that she wears a fugitive expression, as though at some point in her life she has become lost, taken a wrong turning, and now cannot find a connection to anything. She arrives at the chair and stands, looking down at me.
I'm Dr. Costello.
She lightly taps my foot with hers.
You're not asleep.
I can smell the heat on her flesh as she bends over me.
How's the face?
One side of my neck and face are covered with a sterile dressing.
You're lucky not to be blinded.
She gently eases the dressing back to take a look. I brush her aside and walk to the edge of the pool. She looks at the guards, quickly indicates that everything is under control, and moves forward to approach me again. I stare down into the mirror of water, then throw the glasses aside, rip the dressing from my face and toss it into the pool.
We have to learn to trust each other.
She hands me the glasses.
I'm the only hope you have, believe me.
Give me one good reason why I should.
It's my job to keep you alive.
She takes a closer look at the shotgun pellet scars critically close to my eyes.
We start testing tomorrow.
I sit beside Dr. Costello in the back of a limousine, staring out of the window. I'm wearing spotless white linen gloves, over which handcuffs have been locked. Dr. Costello is plainly worried about my physical and mental condition, but she makes no attempt to talk to me, as she knows she will get no response. A goat is following close behind, its headlights dipping and flaring into the back of the limousine. I'm starting to feel nauseous.
Slow down.
The driver chooses not to hear.
Did you hear me?
We're late. We were late last night.
He reluctantly slows. The goat behind flashes its lights.
They know we're late.
Is it far?
Not far.
How far?
You've been before. You don't recall?
No.
At all?
No. The test area is lit up like a film set in the middle of nowhere. A huge, mobile laboratory surrounded by a battery of complex electronic equipment. The driver parks the limousine close to a generator with different colour power cables running into it. The guard helps me from the car. As Dr. Costello steps from the limousine, the driver opens his door.
Not you. You stay in the car. We might have to leave in a hurry. I want to be sure where you are.
The driver gives her a sour look, slams the door shut, settles back in his seat and lights a cigarette. The guard unlocks and removes the handcuffs. I start to walk towards the laboratory. I stop to look at a pile of dead pigeons that have been dumped close by. Death has reached into their beauty. The iridescent gloss of their plumage is now the colour of dull, wet ash. Their broken bodies form a mound of tangled wings, twisted necks, and glinting dead eyes that seem to stare straight at me. Then I remember the first time I was here. The burnt-out street drowning in unnatural light. An old man, carrying a basket of pigeons, walks down the centre of the road until he comes to a luminous white cross painted on the tarmac. He lowers the basket onto the cross and kneels beside it, waiting. The lights dim in a massive power drain. The old man throws back the lid of the basket, releasing the pigeons. They fly as a flock, a wedge of flashing colour. As they start to climb, they hit the invisible wall with a jolting hiss and slowly spiral lifeless back to the ground.
We've been here before. Do you remember?
As the guard takes my elbow, he urges me on. I stumble. The doctor moves quickly forward.
Don't touch him!
The guard steps back as though he's been stung. She slips an arm round my waist and drapes my arm round her shoulder to take my weight.
You okay?
I nod. With a parting glare at the guard, she helps me towards the steps that lead up to the laboratory. Most of the space is taken up with state-of-the-art digital equipment linked to a bank of computers. Technicians are busy lining up the technology. Dr. Costello guides me to a chair at the far end where a space has been cleared. She moves away to check the emergency oxygen. A technician approaches and removes one of my gloves. My fingers, from tip to first joint, are coated in gold. The doctor turns angrily.
Leave him!
She moves quickly back to the chair and snatches the glove from him.
Did you hear me? I said get away!
I study my gold-tipped fingers. What are these bastards doing to me?
Listen to me, Turner. Listen. We don't lie to each other.
I raise the other hand and pull the glove off with my teeth.
Turner, do we?
I spit the glove to the floor, see the same gold-tipped fingers. I raise my gilded hands to her.
They link you to these computers.
What else? My back. What's in my bastard back?
I fling an arm over her shoulder, trying to reach the middle of my back.
No!
She goes to grab my arm, loses her balance and falls. Two of the technicians go to help her. I hit one of them hard.
His hand!
She scrambles to her feet and places herself between me and the two men. The door of the laboratory opens and Dwoskin enters. Tall, thin, prematurely balding with ghostly pale eyes. He takes in the situation at a glance. The tension between the doctor and Dwoskin is tangible.
What happened?
The doctor has got me back to the chair and is taking my blood pressure.
Has he done any damage?
She despises him, won't look at him or speak to him, shakes her head.
Can he walk? That's all he has to do, walk 100 yards.
He cross-checks two identical watches, one on each wrist.
We're already 55-22 behind.
Without Turner, you have 10 tons of computerized crap on wheels.
The door of the laboratory is flung open. Dwoskin and the doctor storm out. He walks a dozen paces and turns on her.
Do you know how long it takes to set this up?
He's physically exhausted.
Do you have any idea?
I stand by the doorway,
11 hours.
watching, listening.
6 tests in 8 days.
11 hours, and you can't give me 20 minutes.
That 20 minutes could kill him. You only have to look at the man.
You're not being objective.
Objective? We're talking about a man's life. Turner goes back with me now.
That's official, is it? Tonight is cancelled.
He blocks her way back to the laboratory.
Get out of my way.
A black limousine moves silently into view behind them. Dwoskin has seen it. The doctor has not.
So, tonight is cancelled.
And tomorrow night, the night after...
The car creeps ever closer, then stops.
You'll inform McClelland?
What?
He points over her shoulder at the parked limousine, then walks back to the laboratory.
I'll be in the computerized crap on wheels.
Dr. Costello stands rooted for some time, hating herself for letting Dwoskin do this to her. The sinister black vehicle just sits there, spreading its dark influence. She walks uneasily towards it. As she draws close, a window winds down. In the gloom of the interior, I can just make out a pale, dead face.
You're late.
There are complications.
You were late last night.
Turner is close to collapse.
Smoke from his cigar curls lazily through the open window.
We have to postpone tonight.
McClelland leans forward into the light.
Postpone?
We're searching for non-existent data, some psychophysical formula. There isn't one. There isn't going to be one, no matter how many times you send Turner through that hellhole. He's unique, and you're going to kill him.
The window winds up, and the limousine accelerates silently away. Dr. Costello shouts after it.
What use is he to you dead?
Dwoskin is on the phone as I enter, the doctor behind me. He holds the receiver out to her. She ignores him. He covers the mouthpiece.
It's McClelland.
She snatches the receiver from him and slams it down without saying a word.
You're starting to rattle, Dr. Costello.
I sit back in the chair. The doctor gently strips me to the waist. There are a dozen gold needles attached to leads inserted into bruised flesh in different parts of my body.
I tried. I really did try.
I know. One of the technicians steps forward to link the needles to a microcomputer on a belt round my waist.
No one!
The doctor pushes him away.
No one touches Turner but me.
Wired like a monkey in space, I walk with the doctor towards the test boundary. I stop for a moment to look at a dead pigeon that has fallen from the old man's basket. It is already seething with ants. I'm not going to make this one, am I?
It's a possibility.
What happens to you if I die?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You'll end up in McClellan's freezer. A technician is waiting with a robot camera. The doctor slips something from her pocket and secretly passes 2 capsules to me.
Take these. They reduce respiration.
I slip them into my mouth as the technician approaches with the camera cable and plugs it into the computer belt.
You mustn't stop. Whatever happens, don't stop.
She kisses me lightly on the cheek.
Good luck.
I can see that she is fighting back tears as she turns and makes her way to a car waiting for her. It drives slowly round the test boundary, 100 yards down the street, and stops beside a goat that is already parked there. I take the robot camera cable in one hand and move forward to the painted cross in the middle of the road. I can feel a flood of fear rising in me. In the distance, I see the doctor get out of the car carrying her emergency bag and a small cylinder of oxygen. She walks forward as far as she can and stands, looking at me, willing me to survive. The dimming of the lights is my cue to move past the boundary into the test area. When it happens, I remain still. Dwoskin's voice comes over an earpiece.
What's the problem?
I stand motionless in silent defiance.
Talk to me.
I look up, run my eyes over the shells of buildings on either side of the street and call out.
McClellan!
Then I see him standing with his bodyguard 4 floors up in a house with no front, the perfect balcony view.
Take the soldiers away and what are you? Nothing. Paper-ass bastard, a dog wouldn't lift its leg on.
He just stands there looking down at me, hands punched into his coat pockets, shoulders curled like a great black bird of prey. I turn to face the test boundary. The street empties of sound. Then, with a noise in my head like slowly breaking glass, I walk forward into the test area. I am consumed by light. Lurid and violent variations of colour. Shapes collapse into their shadows. The air is on fire. I look up to where I think McClellan is. Instead, I see the Zone Christ framed in an empty Gothic arch. His robe caught by a storm wind, his cross ablaze. In the mirror of light all around me, I see reflections of my face, bones through flesh, no eyes, no mouth, no breath. I stagger out of the test area, freed from the drowning heat, bleeding from nose and ears. I hear Dr. Costello's voice, as though coming out of an anesthetic.
Turner! Turner!
She rips the camera cable away and helps me to the car. The driver makes no move to open the door.
If this man dies, are you going to inform McClelland?
The driver quickly opens the door and helps the doctor get me into the back seat. I slump, chin on chest, dangling hands. She gets in beside me. She gently eases my head back and wipes the blood from my face. She slips the mask over my nose and mouth and turns the oxygen on. Nothing has ever felt quite so good. I have survived, but only just. Dwoskin looks in.
Technically, you're dead.
The doctor takes my hand and slips the needle of a syringe into a vein in the back of it.
Technically, he should be. What would have happened to you then?
She has to smile.
You'd have ended up in McClellan's freezer.
If he dies, we must have his body for autopsy.
He's not going to die.
She looks down at me. I've closed my eyes. She knows I'm not sleeping. She knows what I'm thinking. Faced with death, everything trivial disappears. Past and future mean nothing. The endless present is all that matters. The limousine speeds through the zone. I'm slumped against Dr. Costello, wrapped in a blanket, still taking oxygen. The lights of the following goats splash into the back of the limousine on the unmade road. Suddenly, I throw the blanket aside, rip the oxygen mask off, take hold of the cylinder and crack it across the back of the guard's head. The doctor is as astonished as the driver, who has no time to react before I hold the blade of a stolen pair of scissors to his neck. The driver, not easily intimidated, glances at me in the rearview mirror.
They'll shoot you down like a dog.
I push the point of the blade into his neck, drawing blood.
Is that after I kill you?
The doctor leans forward to check the unconscious guard.
Get his gun.
She freezes. Gives me a look I've not seen before. Panic. It quickly passes. She slides the guard's handgun from its holster and passes it to me. I drop the blade and hold the gun to the driver's head.
Faster.
He accelerates.
Faster.
I glance back and estimate the distance to the front of the goat.
Slow down. Faster. Slow down. What the hell do you want?
His foot hovers over the brake pedal. I fire a shot close to him. In a reflex action, the driver stands on the brake. The wheels of the limousine lock. Skidding tyres gouge into the unmade road, sending up a screen of dust. The driver of the goat is blinded and brakes too late. Skids, drifts. The goat impales itself on the rear fender of the heavy limousine.
Now go!
The driver accelerates. The limousine pulls away, taking the front of the goat with it. I look back. The goat is out of control, its steering damaged. One side drops into a ditch. It careens along on two wheels, then rolls over and bursts into a ball of fire before it comes to rest on its roof, wheels spinning. We stop opposite a derelict garage. I stand over the driver as he drags the unconscious guard from the car. All his bombast has deserted him.
Don't leave me here.
The doctor gets into the guard seat. She knows from this point that she is no longer a doctor. She is, like me, a fugitive, that McClelland will not rest until we're both captured or dead.
Don't leave me here!
I get in the limousine. The driver lunges forward to try to stop me closing the door.
Not out here!
I start the engine. As the car pulls away, the driver runs alongside, clinging onto the mirror. As he is dragged along, his hold weakens and he falls away into the darkness. I drive as fast as the road conditions will allow. All we can do now is press on until we come to some recognizable place. As we approach what looks like a town, I slow down.
Do you know where we are?
No.
I'll leave you safe somewhere. Dump this, rest up a couple of days. Then through the boundary for the last time back to the city.
You can't. You'll die.
I didn't die an hour ago.
You damn nearly did. I'd hate to live on the difference.
I'm going. Whatever you say.
She slips a small automatic from her pocket and points it at me.
I'd rather kill you now.
What about your Hippocratic oath, Dr. Costello?
Feeling foolish, she slowly lowers the gun.
I'm no longer a doctor.
I understand her sadness. I am responsible for it. We drift on in silence. We both know that, like so many others in the zone, we are traveling in the direction of our fear. We have stopped for a short rest. I lean forward in my seat and close my eyes. She puts a comforting arm round my shoulder.
Perhaps in a year or...
Car lights approaching in the distance. She grabs my arm.
Where the hell do we go now?
I know someone.
What?
He'll help us.
We make our way cautiously through an old timber building that seems to talk to us, creaking and groaning as it shifts in the wind. Dust covers every surface and runs in rivulets along the floor. The windows are veneered with grime, letting in a dull half-light. A sudden sound alerts us. We slip into a room and close the door to a crack. A girl, no more than 14, naked under a silk robe, her body pitiably thin, walks barefoot down the passage. As she passes the door, I grab her, clamp a hand over her mouth and lift her, kicking into the room.
We're not here to harm you.
She claws at my face.
We're looking for Walker.
Costello, half hidden in the shadows, moves forward into what little light there is so the girl can see her.
He's my brother.
His real name is David Costello.
The girl goes still, all fight gone from her. I remove my hand from her mouth and lower her bare feet to the floor.
Where is he?
The girl remains completely silent.
Is he here?
Her face has an extraordinary translucence. Her sly eyes look through Costello like a cat. She turns and walks down the passage, turns to check that we're following. She's in mute. The melting ice has formed pools of water on the uneven stone floor of the cellar. Lying in a coffin of carved ice blocks, his eyes open, wetly shining, is David Costello. Around the ice coffin are propped pictures of the sea that have been cut from magazines and pasted onto cardboard stands. For each picture, there is a flickering candle. Tears brim in the doctor's eyes as she looks down at her dead brother.
How the dead cling to the living.
We make our way back through the maze of passages and blind staircases. Then from nowhere, I'm knocked senseless. I sit alone at a table in a bare room in an abandoned military complex, nursing my head and holding a mug of tea. A door opens and a small, dark, intense woman enters. She gives me a look that feels like running a thumb down the blade of a just sharpened knife.
I'm Hill.
I sip my tea, purposefully silent. She takes a bottle from a canvas bag and unscrews the cap.
Try this.
Expensive whiskey. She tops my tea up, then leaves the bottle open on the table. Where's Dr. Costello?
Safe.
She'd better stay that way.
I was told that you're a belligerent bastard.
She pulls out a chair and sits opposite.
You don't disappoint.
She opens the bag and takes out a folder wrapped in polythene.
What did Iceton show you?
The name sets off an instant run of memory, precise and exact. I am back in the room of simulated sea, sunshine and gulls, handcuffed to a metal chair, watching Ms. Iceton clean her glasses with a lace handkerchief. Hill unwraps and opens the folder. It contains photographs, newspaper cuttings and drawn portraits of people.
Prints from the negatives you were given?
I'm still in that room, chained to the chair.
Turner.
Listening to the taped squall of gulls. She showed me 5. Hill starts to sort through her photographs. I went to his funeral.
Jack Cage?
Yes.
He's buried a few here.
She slides one of her photographs across the table to me.
Is that one of the men she showed you?
I take my time, study the photograph. It is of an elderly man with a sallow, secretive face, hooded slits for eyes.
Well?
I push the photograph back to her. He's one of them. She picks up the bottle and drinks from it, then slides a second photograph across the table. No. A third photograph is of a younger man. He looked older.
That was taken 10 years ago.
I look again, nod. To save time, Hill passes the folder of faces to me. I pick out a third. She lines it up with the other two. I work my way through the rest and look up at her.
Just 3?
The other 2 aren't there.
Can you describe them?
One, maybe 60, looks younger, grey hair, handsome, bitter face, cruel eyes. I reach up and run the tip of a finger lightly across the bridge of my nose. Crescent scar here.
Are you sure?
Certain. I sip my whiskey tea. Hill goes back to her bag, takes out an envelope from which she draws a smaller photograph. She studies it for some time, with the sort of look when you're trying to deal with a past that is never quite past.
Is this him?
I recognise the face instantly. Yes.
He's dead.
So was Jack Cage.
I saw him. Half his head blown away.
That was the man. She counts off the faces.
Stirk, Morgan, Ike Green, and...
She places the smaller photograph in the neat line.
Jack Macklin. You said 5. Who was the 5th man? Can you describe him?
I pick up the bottle and top up my tea. It was a woman.
A woman?
About 30, square face, short dark hair parted in the middle, glasses. Hill smiles a smile of recognition.
Monk.
She starts to gather up the faces, place them back in the folder, back in the bag.
No one knows what McClellan's business in the city is. A lot of people have died trying to find out. Come with me.
She stops and turns back when she realises I'm not following. Where is Costello?
She's quite safe. She's resting.
I remain seated.
We need you, Turner. You have access. You can go through the boundary. None of us can.
I get up from the table and walk towards her. It would be more than my life is worth to tell Hill that I too am now a prisoner in the zone. As the lift arrives, laser-activated lights switch on. AV, slightly drunk, carrying her shoes, makes her way unsteadily across the room. She drops the shoes on a chair, slips off her coat and lets it fall to the floor. As she pours herself a brandy, she senses someone in the room and slowly turns to face us. She doesn't seem at all fazed. She absently swills the brandy round the glass.
A lot of people dying around you, Turner?
It's a great place for dying.
My next.
Hill walks to a white grand piano covered in framed photographs. AV looks at her, then back to me.
Don't let her fool you. She's like a cancer. She'll eat you down to the bone. You can warm your hands on her hate.
Hill ignores the abuse and picks up a photograph of Jack Macklin.
Put that down.
Cruel eyes.
Show some respect for the dead.
Is he?
What?
Dead.
What are you talking about?
With Jack, it's always a woman. Find the woman, you find Jack Macklin.
Jack is dead. Shot in the head. I saw it, close as I am to you.
He's in the city working for McClelland.
McClelland had him murdered. If you're going to kill me, kill me.
What does McClelland do in the city?
He recruits.
I know that.
He recruited me.
That too.
I'd murdered my husband.
What else?
He corrupts surgeons for transplant organs. They can't resist the money.
And?
AV is starting to enjoy herself.
He visits his children.
McClelland has children.
Hard to believe. That snake.
You're lying.
300.
I will kill you.
You bought them from orphanages years ago. Paid people to raise them. They're almost ready.
Ready?
To take over the zone.
Lit by the headlights of a car at the back of the military complex, 40 dead are laid out neatly in a single row. Hill walks slowly down the line.
Laid out like game birds. The youngest and the best. There's more of us, McClelland! For everyone here, there's 10 more! You can't kill all of us!
The last is Costello. I stand looking down at her face smoothed by death.
We better get out of here.
We drive in a strange sense of silence, as though nothing after will be quite the same. When the edge of the outlands meets the back blocks of the zone, the spill of buildings are lit with flickering yellow streetlights that give the area a jaundiced, palsied feel, as though anyone foolish enough to enter will leave infected.
Dump the car. Hide it. The roads are too dangerous.
We soon find ourselves in the graveyard of a derelict church. The narrow pathway between the graves is choked with weeds. There's a flight of worn stone steps down to a wooden door. The crypt is small with a low ceiling fogged by candle smoke, candles everywhere, walls matted with crucifixes. On the stone floor in one corner is a mattress and a stained pillow. Before we can take it in, the door scuffs open and the Zone Christ enters. He stands in the shadows, staring at us with arctic blue eyes, his white hair incandescent in the darkness. He points a finger at Hill, clearly recognizing her, but says nothing.
Don't move.
The Zone Christ lowers his arm and gazes at me. He picks up one of the candles and moves towards me.
Don't move, Turner.
He holds the candle closer and closer to my face until the heat becomes uncomfortable. Then he moves it around as if redrawing my face with the flame.
He won't harm you.
Outside, cars draw up, doors slam, voices come closer. The Zone Christ hands the candle to me, crosses to the mattress, slides it aside, then lifts a heavy flagstone from the floor. We drop into a tunnel, Hill first, then I pass her the candle and follow. At the bottom, I look up at the Zone Christ, who drops the flagstone back into place. In the flickering candlelight, we find ourselves in a lost river tunnel. Crouching as low as we can, we move forward. There is hardly room for our shadows.
Who is he? No one really knows. Some say that he was the first one here.
In the zone?
That's what they say.
How old is he?
Oh, he doesn't age. He looked exactly the same when I was a child.
Where are we going?
To start a war.
Across my lap, I'm holding a new semi-automatic rifle wrapped in oiled paper as we drive into the Badlands.
There's 6 groups we need with us. None of them suicidally sociable.
She glances at me and catches the end of a wry smile.
Without them, no chance.
We leave the van and move quickly through a rat maze of alleys between bullet-pocked buildings. Suddenly, we're pinned to the wall by a blinding light. Hill shouts into the darkness.
You know me! I want to see Backer! This is Turner!
The light goes out. Backer smells the oiled paper, then rips it from the weapon.
I love that smell.
He handles it expertly.
And it been test fired.
He raises it, aims and pulls the trigger.
Cut you in half. Clean as a cat's arse. Got any more?
60.
Where's the war?
Wherever McClelland is.
Throughout the zone, a running battle rages between the Eyes and Hill's coalition. Buildings are ablaze. Explosions light up the night sky. The dry rattle of small arms fire echoes through streets strewn with spent casings. The Eyes paint death in broad strokes. They kill efficiently. They are made for murder. The partisans, freed from their fear of the Eyes, dart from cover to cover, from shadow to stranded pool of shadow with daring grace as bullets cut all around them. I'm told that Hill has been fatally wounded. When I get to her, she's been laid in the open back of a van. The fighting rages. I bend my head to hear her.
You never know how far. It's too far. Until you've made the journey.
Her voice is fading.
There's no one else.
It is as though she is sharing my breath to keep herself alive.
To hold them together.
Her unfocused, centerless eyes half close as though looking into the low slant of the sun.
You. Turner. There's only you. Kill McClelland.
I take her hand and hold it tightly as she looks at me for the last time, and then slides into the darkness beneath her. Vehicles are parked with their headlights trained on a wall with Hill's name painted on it. An improvised place of execution. I sit in Hill's car, remembering what she said to me. There is a volley of fire as 6 eyes are shot. Jack Cage is walked to the car by 2 armed women.
You're starting to smell like a corpse, Jack.
He tries to hide his terror.
We can deal. Anything. Turner. Anything.
I want McClelland. Alone.
I am back at the blazing oil drum in the zone's no man's land. McClelland and his bodyguard stand beside his limousine some way off. I call out to him.
I said alone. So you did.
He calmly takes a gun from his pocket and shoots his bodyguard dead.
You're beautiful, Turner. I've been looking for you for 20 years. This could be a beginning.
The grim night is suddenly filled with the scratchy soprano. For a moment, McClelland is distracted. When he looks back, I'm gone.
Turner? Turner!
I step back into the light from the fire, look briefly at the two bodies, then at the old man conducting his opera. I smile. I get into Hill's car and drive slowly away until distance consumes it entirely.
You've been listening to The Zone by Trevor Preston, starring Ben Crowe as Turner. Dr. Costello was played by Sinead Keenan, Hill, Claire Perkins, Dwoskin, Clive Hayward, Cage, Stephen Greif, Cliff, Harry Myers, A.V., Elaine Claxton, McClelland, David Cann, Baker, Michael Bertenshaw. Other parts played by Jaimi Barbakoff, Matthew Watson and Wilf Scolding. The Zone was directed by Toby Swift.